발사?
Something told me the fire was not authentic.
이게 또 홀로그램이네.
Keep a smile on your face.
아휴, 또 나.
Keep a smile on your face.
Excuse me, please.
The pictures were all of Graham's wife. They were photochemical prints, taken using an old-style film camera. The retro technology had managed to blend songbirds seamlessly into the fake backgrounds. The photography was impressive, but the subject didn't look happy. The pictures in the apartment told a sad
표정이 왜
story.
그러시죠?
A blissful romance that had soured with time.
침실에서 대화하고 있으니까. 웃음 잃지 마시길. 좌우명이야? 아무것도 없네. 뭐 조사한 게 없는데. 벽난로. 저원이면 25%. 평소엔 5%. 딱히 수정할 만한 건 없고.
Excuse me, please.
아이, 나와봐. 부엌 시스템. 이 침실로 가면 되나?
I knew about Graham's health, but I still needed to find out about his work and social standing. Perhaps I'd find more on his personal terminal. I needed to find out more information if I wanted to avoid getting caught out.
그럼 마이너스인가 그거 봐야 되는데. 다 된 거 같은데? 다 둘러본 거 같고. 됐어, 저장 중이고.
I still didn't know enough about Graham's work to answer questions about it. I needed to find out more information if I wanted to avoid getting caught out.
나와라 힌트. 침실과 화장실에? 다 갔다 왔는데? 침실은 못 들어가잖아 지금. 그러면 화장실 갔다 왔는데. 의료 스캐너랑 다 했잖아. 오르기 안 했구나.
A box had been hidden outside the window.
오.
If I could get the window open,
아,
I'd be
또
able to
새가
reach that
있어.
box.
새가 또 알을 품고 있네? 어떻게 가지?
If I could get the window open, I'd be able to reach that box. This was my only chance to find out about Graham.
창문을 열어야
Leaving
되네.
now wasn't an option.
그래 창문.
Chipworth? Good afternoon, sir.
Is this interview just going to be about me?
Correct. The mentor...
And what happened?
Incorrectly, sir.
Perhaps I hit my head up.
Ha! Very...
I didn't have long. I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
창문.
Please, can you tidy up the
아이고.
apartment?
Very good, sir.
아이고. 야, 아니야.
Hello, Chipworth.
Good afternoon, sir.
I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
창문.
I am sorry, sir, but the window controls are in Madame Songbird's room. I would not wish to disturb the mentor while he is with her. Her meeting is apparently of the highest priority.
I see. We shouldn't disturb her then.
Indeed, sir. However, if the air temperature is a concern, might sir consider dispensing with his coat?
The council was made up of 5 ministries. Each ministry had their own logo and distinctive color scheme.
아,
From the color of his uniform,
그래.
it was clear that Graham worked for the Ministry of Comfort.
웃는 표시.
I had learned all I was going to from Graham's apartment. I hoped it would be enough.
참 꼼꼼하게 해야 돼. 요거잖아. 인생의 모든 장애 요소를 이 얼굴? 얘가 걔 아닌가? 그래야민가? 얘가 대빵이었나? 편의부는 보이지 않는 곳에서 시민 여러분을 뒷바라지하는 존재. 난방, 냉방, 샤워, 설거지, 청소, 수리, 전력 공급, 광내기. 집사, 보이지 않는 집사. 됐어. 편의부.
If I was going to convince the mentor, I had to be sure I knew enough about Graham.
다 된 거 아닌가?
I needed to find out.
얼굴이
That looked like Graham and his
얘가 아까
wife on their
걔잖아.
wedding day.
대빵. 편의부 대빵.
If I was going to convince the mentor, I had to be sure I knew enough about Graham. I couldn't keep them waiting any longer.
Darling, I thought you were going to freshen up.
I was, but I missed the sweet sound of your voice.
Oh, Graham, always the romantic. But please don't kiss me until you've showered.
Wouldn't dream of it. Besides, I couldn't let Alfonso hear.
Alonso?
Monopolize my lovely wife for a moment longer.
In which case, shall we begin?
Of course. Shall we take a seat in the lounge?
뭐야 이 싹퉁
It was
봐가지고.
now or never.
So, Mr. Grundy.
Mentor Alonso, what would you like to know?
Ah, well, straight to the point. I like that. As I was explaining to your dear wife earlier, there have been some issues with your activity records of late.
Issues? What do you mean?
Mr. Grundy, a word to the wise. This will be much smoother if you leave the questions to me. Now, whilst your records load, remind me, in which ministry are you employed?
편의부.
Comfort. I'm a cleaning supervisor.
Yes, of course. Here we go. Graham
42세.
Grundy, 42, cleaning supervisor with the Ministry of Comfort. Cleaning supervisors require Class C exertive activity certification. I trust that your health rating is sufficient.
바뀌었잖아, A뿔로.
I did drop down a bit, but I'm back to Class A plus now.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. So, with that in mind, I will mark you as fit for work, barring any other issues. Now, obviously, your kudos level will have fluctuated due to your absence. You're a C plus right now. I note you used to be much higher.
어? A는 아니었는데? 알았어. 기다려봐. 뭐였지? 빗불?
Do go on, Mr. Grundy.
알았어. B?
B
빗불 아니야?
plus.
I didn't spot a plus on the record.
Oh.
Must have been my mistake. Well, that is all I need to check off.
아니,
But I'd be remiss if I didn't offer you all the extra support and guidance that you need.
Mentor?
When someone goes off grid, there's usually some underlying trouble. And as a mentor, I like to think of myself as a bit of a troubleshooter.
Of course. I appreciate the concern.
So, let's get to the bottom of all this confusion. Dig a bit deeper, eh?
Deeper? Yes, right. By all means, Mentor.
Tell me about your workplace. I trust there are no issues.
어? 뭐야? 빵빵? 빵빵? 기차? 뭐야?
Cat's got your tongue.
아니 댄스? 아니잖아. 뭐야? 저게 뭐야? 달려. 뭔데? 철도요?
Land train facility.
어,
It's a fine place to work.
I'm sure it is. Department of Land Trains and
웃으시네
Extra City
사모님께서.
Commerce. Wonderful.
Oh, yes. Couldn't be happier.
We are, of course, very grateful for your service, Mr. Grundy. But there we come to the crux of the matter. Your absence. 15 days is a long time. This is, of course, why my ministry has become involved in your case. We have been concerned for your well-being.
I'm fine. Better than ever, in fact.
Excellent. Now, speaking of your health, I note you had some surgery last year. Tell me about your implants. Are they working effectively?
이건 알죠?
You
심장.
mean my heart regulators? Nothing to worry about. As you can see, the beat goes on.
Yes. Well, I must say you're in remarkable shape considering your medical history. Of course, your mental well-being is just as important to us. How are you getting on with your
취미?
rather peculiar hobbies?
뭔데? 저게 뭔데? 찰칵? 사진?
Something the matter?
뭔데 저게? 찰칵찰칵. 찰칵.
Cat got your tongue?
사진인가?
You mean
사진.
my photography?
I do.
Oh.
Yes.
You can't beat the feeling of an old-time film camera.
I can imagine. You have an eye for composition. Although I don't understand your interest in using such archaic technology. Choosing to fiddle with knobs rather than availing of ministry-recommended filters, stabilization, automatic archive, and data retrieval, all courtesy of Minos. If we can't see what you create, how can we share in your interests?
What can I say? I like a challenge.
I'm sure you do, Graham. Ah, well. I have a busy day of appointments, so sadly we must conclude our little chat there.
It's been a pleasure, Mentor.
Hasn't it? So with that in mind, perhaps you can tell me where you've been for the last 2 weeks.
What? Right. Yes, where have I been the last 2 weeks?
Well?
Okay, so the last 2 weeks, I was working at the land train facility,
아닌데
of course.
결국은 했는데?
Cleaning. I'm a cleaning supervisor. And while I was cleaning, I must have bumped my head. The next thing I knew, I was in the middle of nowhere, still on the train. 2 weeks later, the train returned to the city. Cleaner than it's ever been, I might add.
My poor darling! How awful! What a dreadful thing to happen!
I believe I have all the answers I need from you.
Well, that's a relief.
I'm sure it is, Mr. Grundy.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Just a teeny tiny thing before I go. There appears to be 1 or 2 anomalous results here.
Anomalous? That doesn't sound good.
It may be nothing. But here's the thing. I get strange readings when I scan your U-chip. Any idea why?
Maybe it got damaged when I fell.
Ah, yes. Of course. That's probably it. You see, the only other time I've seen anything like this is when a U-chip has been tampered with. No one would have done that now, would they?
Tampered with? I didn't even know that you could do that.
Graham's a supervisor, not a subversive mentor.
Yes, a supervisor, not a subversive.
Damaged when he fell. Request analysis. There. Perfect. I have everything I need.
Great. Chipbot will show you out.
집밥.
Chipworth, darling.
Just my little joke. Chipworth.
Good day, Mr. and Mrs. Grundy.
I don't know who you are or what you've done with Graham, but I think we got away with that.
I hope so. I don't think that we would get away with it a second time.
Nor do I. If there is anything wrong with Graham's U-chip, you would better sort it out sharpish before Alonso's analysis comes back. Who even are you? Where's Graham? Are you that contact he kept ranting about?
Whatever Graham had been up to, it had gotten him killed. I had to come clean with his wife. There's no easy way to say this, but I'm afraid Graham is dead.
What? How? Where?
I found him. In the Gap.
The Gap? What was the idiot doing in the Gap? Was that where he was always sneaking off to? Ugh!
A child, Milo, was abducted from a village out there and brought into Union City. And I think Graham was somehow connected.
Sure, and pigs fly. Listen, stranger. I'm sure you can understand this has been a rather harrowing day. This is all too much for me right now.
Tell me about it.
So, I'm gonna do some damage control on social
SNS.
media. In the meantime, I guess that officially it is your home, so you can stay, but this is my bedroom, and that one is yours. No cute ideas.
예,
Understood.
안 합니다.
Songbird seemed
술다네요.
rattled by the news. Not surprising. But whoever this contact of Graham's was, I suspected they were the key to finding Milo. I didn't think Songbird would appreciate me rummaging through her things.
Mama bear.
In Union City, even the teddy bears had screens. This one was broken.
망가졌다고.
I poked at it, but I couldn't get it to turn on. The shelf was loaded with books on management, business theory, and military strategy.
Hey, don't touch that! What have I said about these windows? Keep them closed. Ahem.
열어놔. 아니. 방을 덥게 해야지 열을 뛸 텐데.
The climate controls looked complicated, except for the big switch marked Windows. Jasmine. A Detective Culls. Someone liked their murder mysteries. A collection of toy animals were lined up in little baskets. One was missing. Dave Dingo.
Dave Dingo.
Carl Koala. Kevin Kangaroo.
케빈 캥거루.
There was an empty spot marked Bartleby
Toki.
Bilby.
I don't know and I don't care.
아. 이거 유통기한
I don't
지났는데.
know and I don't care.
Songbird, I'm sorry
For what?
that your husband is dead.
Graham gave up trying to be anything other than the dullard he really was. If it weren't for the kudos for being married, I'd have dumped him months ago. You're new here, so a word of advice? You want to win in Union City? Learn the rules and play the game.
My name's Foster, by the way. Robert Foster.
Songbird.
Is there anything more you can tell me about Graham?
Not much. He was a loner whose only friends were idiots like him.
What were you saying about kudos?
Were you born yesterday?
Let's just say I'm new here.
Okay, newbie. Here's how it works in Union City. Be a good example, stay happy, and you get kudos.
Which you spend?
Well, kinda, but not really. The higher your kudos level, the lower you are in the city. Simple.
So kudos is bad?
Aren't you listening? Lower. Lower is better.
What's with the Alonso guy?
Guy, I believe you're referring to Mentor Alonso from the Ministry of Well-Being. He's a high-ranking official. And we've just lied straight to his face.
Quite the team, huh?
If he knew what's really going on, I dread to think how far my kudos would plummet.
And what about me?
Arrested, deported, I don't know, but not important.
Could Graham have had anything to do with kidnapping?
For both our sakes, I hope not.
Who's this contact you mentioned?
Bad news, as far as my kudos level is concerned.
What do you mean?
Graham was always rambling on about this hacker friend of his. Had a daft name. Leet, I think.
Leet.
Any idea where I could find Leet?
Probably somewhere up top, with the other degenerates. If I were you, I'd stay away.
Are you a collector?
What?
Toys. You have quite the collection.
Oh, yes. The whole set of cuddly kiddies. Even the limited edition Mama Bear from 5 years back. Well, I did have the whole set, at least.
Did something happen?
Bartleby went missing, that's what. I asked Graham about it and he denied all knowledge. Then, when I tried to use the Mama Bear tracker to find dear Bartleby, he threw her across the room.
Clumsy.
Clumsy. Those bears were my engagement gift. He hid Bartleby just to spite me.
Graham had taken Songbird's toy Bilby, but I couldn't figure out what he'd have wanted with it. Wherever he'd gone, Graham clearly didn't want to be tracked. What does Bartley Bilby look like?
Bartleby is a bilby. Adorable, long ears. Like a bandicoot and a rabbit all rolled into one. At least he was, before he went missing.
What's a mama bear tracker?
What do you think? It tracks her babies.
Her babies?
The cuddly kiddies. Most toys in Union City are tracker-enabled. Lost toys mean screaming babies. Unless you got a tracker.
Mind if I have a look at the tracker?
Go ahead, though the screen is broken. Squeeze the left ear to turn it on.
That's all for now.
Yeah, bye.
It looked like Graham had taken Bartleby and didn't want it tracked. I had a hunch that he had taken it to Leet, but had no idea why.
아까 그 여자가 토끼같이 생겼었는데.
In Union City, even the teddy bears had screens. This one was broken. The device was now on, but with the screen broken, I'd need to find another way to get at the data. I wondered why Graham had taken a children's toy.
Hello there. I'm Mama Bear.
Hi.
Mama Bear looks after all the cuddly kitties. Are you looking for one of my children?
I'm looking for Bartleby Bilby.
Don't worry, child. Look at my tummy to find your missing friend.
배에 아무것도 없는데.
What have I said about these windows? Keep them closed.
여기가 아닌데?
Hello, Chipworth.
Good afternoon, sir.
Songbird doesn't seem too upset about her husband.
And why would she be? The glorious Master Graham has returned to us.
Sounds like my wife didn't miss me all that much.
I'm confident Madame Songbird's affection was simply kept hidden, on the inside.
I need you to do something for me.
Just say the word, sir.
Please, can you open the windows, Chipworth?
Very good, sir.
The mentor, Alonzo, seemed to be arguing with someone.
아이고 이세.
The gang had a ferocious beak. I was lucky not to lose a finger. The plants needed watering badly. Here you go.
됐어.
Whatever was in the box, Graham had clearly not wanted anyone to find it. Inside was a small glass lens. It had deep cuts scored across its surface. But that wasn't all. Tucked beneath was a photograph. A picture of a stalker. A child's face pressed against the window. Suddenly I realized that it wasn't just Milo. It was clear that multiple children were being taken into the city, and somehow Graham was connected to it. The mentor, Alonzo, seemed to be arguing with someone. Here you go.
아, 알은 못 얻는구나.
The plants needed watering badly. Thankfully, the safety had kicked in. It wouldn't close while blocked.
장난감 주적기? 거실에 있는 마마베어와 홀로그램 장치를 해킹하면 그렇지. 아이, 놀래라.
I swapped the lens for the broken one from the lockbox.
뭐야 이게? 아함 좀 그만해.
Hi.
Mama Bear, are you looking for one of my children?
I'm looking for Bartleby Bilby.
Don't worry, child.
뭐지?
I swapped the lens back to the original one. The plinth was showing the toy's tracking data.
아,
All I needed to do was locate the area
1594.
code E1594. Find the tracker. Find lead.
이제 나가야 되나? 지도와 인내심 분. 인내심이 많이 든 게임이네.
Apologies, Citizen Graham. This is not your residence.
For a moment, I was off balance. It felt like I was falling towards the building. But then I realized it wasn't real. Just a lifelike sculpture carved into the wall. What a relief.
Commencing down.
세탁.
Water refill complete.
Excuse me.
Ah, Master Grundy. What joy to see Sir again after all this time. The Poet Laureate Reginald Arthur Schnippel Esquire sends his regards and/or condolences as appropriate.
How nice of you, Reginald.
Correction, sir. If one may be so bold, Mr. Schnippel is of course Sir's human neighbour. How Sir might mistake yours truly, Tarquin, for our beloved Poet Laureate is beyond imagining.
Any idea where I might find a place called E1594?
That sounds like an area code, and not one I would venture into.
How so?
It would be extremely inappropriate for a gentleman to visit Sector E.
What do you think about the graffiti?
As an artiste, I find any medium a valid form of expression. Of course, the vandalism does somewhat detract from the piece.
Who are you again?
Tarquin, Fidelis Mark II domestic savant, at your service.
So you're a servant.
Savant, please. I am a highly engineered personal aid.
Do you work in these apartments?
Of course, Master Grundy. Sir and I have been neighbors for 147 days and 11 hours.
Have you heard any reports of missing children?
Why, no, Master Graham. If anyone went missing, I'm sure AI Officer Greta would find their U-chips.
What if they were from outside the city?
Well, surely AI Officer Greta would find them by their newly implanted U-chips.
Fair enough. For all his poetry, Tarquin was still a Union City droid. See you later, Tarquin.
Will I?
Huh? It's just a phrase.
Shall we schedule in another meeting?
I don't think that's necessary.
Such ambiguity. A tortured soul.
그만해.
Water tank depleted.
The seal had been vandalized. Poor Joey.
Dear me, a terrible situation. Very troubling indeed.
Mentor, given your experience, your input here would be greatly appreciated.
Orana, isn't it? You strike me as a fine young officer of the Ministry of Well-Being. Would you say that's an accurate description?
I'm flattered, sir.
Your record is exemplary, I believe.
I do my best, sir.
I'm sure you do. So please, don't let me down. Fix this mess.
Mess? You mean the girl?
The whole untidy situation.
Yes, sir.
Atta girl! Keep a smile on your face. After all, it's Aspiration Day, isn't it? The happiest day of the year.
I'll take care of it, sir.
I know you will. By the way, a call to pest control wouldn't go amiss.
Of course, sir.
Meanwhile, I shall isolate this area until this unfortunate incident has been resolved.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your advice.
We're all here to learn from each other. Take care now.
Miss! Pardon me, miss! Who, me? Hey! You can see forever up here! You know, be free! Miss, you have to be careful. Careful or careless? I know which one I want to be. Why don't you come down, yes? Miss Dijon, is that right? Raquel Dijon. Yeah! That's me. I think. Raquel! Raquel? Did you say Raquel? You need to come down. What? Where am I? Oh no! Help! Help!
Hearing her name had triggered a total change in the girl's behavior. I needed to find a way to get her down before she fell.